This is the NC700X. This is a 2012 version, which is the first one that came to the United States. And styling wise, I think it looks pretty good. It looks sportier, especially from this side. It looks sportier than what it is. So the initial impression I got from just riding it is that it is deceivingly fast. I think what I heard about this is that it's a very sedated bike, but I think it feels sedated, but it doesn't feel like as sedated as I thought. Riding it has plenty of torque, and so this, it's still got the stock exhaust. It's got these kind of warping sort of rotors, which is kind of cool. It's a nice style. It has like the taillight assembly coming out quite a bit, so this is kind of an interesting thing. A lot of people don't like it when it comes out too much, but I think it adds a little bit of flair. You know, it's got like the pointy thing. I don't know if I'm going to be dark siding this one. And check this out, it does have like these mounting points for luggage carriers, so I'm not even sure. Maybe at one point the previous owner did have the luggage. And by the way, there's something really weird. I've only thought about it as I was riding it. So if you do a cross-country tour on this, normally what I do is like I'll have a top box right here, saddlebags here, and that's really good. And then of course this one's got the tank bag. But when you have a sleeping bag in a tent, what I usually do, I prefer to put it vertically or like horizontally across here. And on this one, you can't really do that. And the reason is the gas tank is right here. And you open it just by doing this. Moving it to the side, and this kind of pops open. So if you have luggage here, you're going to have to do this over and over. I don't like the system. And it's nice that Honda did shift the gas over here, but I would rather this be one of those BMW style tanks that are kind of off to the side. Even if it looks a little bit worse, you can put it on this left side than the right. I would rather have that. And I don't like this, that I have to like take this out, put it here. I just don't like that sort of style. It's nice that this kind of props open and then it doesn't come down. So then you just kind of push it down like this and you close it. It does have very good like grab handles for a pillion or a passenger. So that's a really nice feature. And check this out. This is what the NC700 is known for. It's this big pocket where you can put a full-size helmet here. It's just incredible. This thing is really nice, and the tools fit over here, but previous owner, I don't know what he did. The battery is also here, so it's very convenient. So the fit and finish here is kind of weird. I don't think this is very good. I think the NC700 was a little bit better than this one, and it does have some nice features. Also, it's got like the Honda anti-theft device thing here, so if you lose your key, it's going to be very expensive to get another key and only have one key. And handlebars still look pretty good. It's a typical Japanese bike, very simple. It does not seem like the fit and finish of the V-Strom at all. This does not feel like you're getting a high-end bike, and with the V-Strom it kind of felt like you had a high-end bike, but this thing kind of feels a little bit cheap. These things were, I believe, $6,000 when they were new, so they were budget bikes, so they're not going to have the greatest fit and finish. So you have very large oversized buttons for the high beams. You don't have a passing button, which is odd. The V-Strom had that. And then you have your hazards, which is nice. You have your horn here, and then you have your turn signals down here. Honestly, I would rather have these two reversed, because you're most of the time using your turn signals, and having a nice big button is more important than the horn. I don't use a horn like on a daily basis. You have your engine switch, and then you have your starter, and of course your throttles over here. The mirrors are kind of ideal. They do work fairly well. I haven't tried riding this at night, and the horn is situated right here. Very odd place, right in there, but whatever. The engine filter is easy to reach, and here's the So one of the things that's really odd about this particular engine, and I think that's what makes it interesting, is that you see the engine, this thing faces like straight this way, and then you have the radiator here. But the interesting thing is that most inline 2s are upright like this, and then you have the gas tank here, but this one they managed to put it like this. I see a lot of people compare this to an engine fit engine, and because it's like slanted this way. Now that's quite a big benefit, and the reason I like that is that if you turn your wheel like this and you remove the radiator, you have full access to the head of the engine, so you can do valve adjustments without removing anything. Is this missing? I think it's missing a bolt right here. Look at that. See, I'm glad I saw that. I guess they already been removing the radiator at one point. So the valve adjustments on this are extremely easy to do. Styling wise, I think it looks fantastic. It's a very European styled bike, and look at this kind of a really large rotor, and it doesn't have a rotor on this side, so that's kind of like a nice feature to have the rotor just on the right side and not on the left. I guess you're not going to be spending a lot of money on brake pads. That's a benefit. And of course, this is a chain drive. It's kind of dirty. You know, the first thing I'm going to be doing is just cleaning this thing up and just learning about the bike. Let's go ahead and start this bike. Very quiet engine, and of course I told you I am having some issue with the engine light coming on because there's just a wire or sending power to this unit here. It's very simple. Like, if you guys look at it, you have your trip B, your total miles, 10,000 miles. Very simple. It doesn't even tell your miles per gallon, which is kind of disappointing. You do have your clock up here, and then you have your speed here, and on this right side it's your fuel gauge. And of course on the top here is kind of typical of Honda. They put the revs or the tachometer here, so you can see it revs up. And then you have your dummy lights. You can see your turn signals here. Very interesting bike, very quiet bike. The previous owner did not like the quietness of this bike, and I think that's the reason he wanted to sell it. He is getting a FZ7. You know, like, I guess, you know, this bike, it's a different demographic. It's a very different demographic because I think Honda labels this as being riders that are coming back to riding or new riders. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Don't get the coronavirus. Go out and ride. See ya.